People just underestimate the amount of work we put into this sport, like the amount of actual hours and dedication, what we put our body and minds through.
Before Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul's Showtime pay-per-view fight, it was understood that if the fight went the distance, no winner would be announced. That is unlikely to detract from Paul's moral victory, which he earned on Sunday night inside Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, by surviving all 8 rounds against one of the greatest fighters of all time. In today's video, we're going to discuss how the MMA and pro boxing community reacted to Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul's recent fight. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Mayweather was definitely the better fighter, but Paul took advantage of his immense height and weight advantage to lean on him and avoid taking more than 1 or 2 clean shots from the former multi-division world champion at the time. I had fun, Mayweather said right after the fight. You've got to realize I'm not 21 anymore, but it's good to move around with these guys. Mayweather was cautious at first, attempting to find out what Paul brought to the ring while avoiding any clean strikes from the YouTube phenomenon. When Paul entered the ring, he was roughly 30 pounds heavier and had a 6-inch reach advantage. After almost entirely playing defense in the second round, Mayweather finally stepped up his offense in the third. He started with several clean left hooks that rocked Paul's head back and threw in a few overhand rights for good measure. Despite the fact that Money began to find space to hit clean strikes, Paul would grip, smother, and lean on Mayweather, forcing him to bear his own weight. He's better than I thought he was, Mayweather said. As far as with the big guys, the heavyweights, it's going to be hard. He's been a tough, rough competitor. Paul appeared to tire down the stretch, losing his snap and the punches he had early on in the fight, and sweating profusely as he flung forth jabs that Mayweather was generally able to dodge as the boxing legend targeted areas to strike scoring blows. Paul was ecstatic after going the distance, despite what would have been a definite loss if the judges had been there. Shit, man, I don't want anyone to tell me anything is impossible ever again, Paul said. The fact that I'm in here with one of the greatest boxers of all time proves the odds can be beat. The bout prompted booing from the audience at times, with fans hoping for a knockout finish, but no such action occurred, and neither man appeared gravely harmed at any stage during the battle. Paul seems to share some of the fans' concerns about Mayweather's level of commitment to the fight. I mean, you never know with this guy, Paul said. I'm going to go home thinking, did Floyd let me survive? It's an honor to grace the ring with him. This is the coolest thing ever. Mayweather, 44, stated early that he'll probably not fight professionally again and will certainly not have another exhibition. Your kids can't eat legacy. They can eat off the currency. I believe in building generational wealth. That's what's important to me, Mayweather said. This may not be the last time we see him in the ring. Whether you like the exhibition or not, whether you agree to it or not, give this man his flowers today. Stephen Espinoza, president of Showtime Sports, said after the fight. MMA Community reacts to the fight. Floyd Mayweather's boxing battle with Logan Paul drew Joe Rogan's attention. Joe Rogan chimed in with his thoughts on Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul's exhibition boxing contest, praising both competitors. The longtime UFC analyst and MMA personality shared the following on his official Instagram account. About last night, first off, I have to say, I really was surprised at how much I was looking forward to this fight. Right before the bell rang for the opening round, I was legitimately giddy with excitement. I think the whole thing is pretty fascinating. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is a fucking genius in more ways than one. He's arguably the greatest boxer of all time, and in the twilight of his career, he's managed to make hundreds of millions of dollars fighting people who really don't have a chance to beat him. Just fucking genius. He's figured out a way to compete into his 40s and make more money than any other boxer alive. It's really incredible. And the confidence that he has to have in his skills to fight a guy 20 years younger than him and 35 pounds heavier can't be emphasized enough. Not a lot of all-time greats in any sport would take that kind of a chance. I think we should appreciate the fuck out of that guy while he's still around. And for Logan Paul, just going 8 hard rounds with a superb multi-division world champion like Floyd is pretty fucking incredible. He survived and he even managed to land a few punches. Just the fact that he had the endurance to do 8 rounds is really fucking impressive. When you're in there with the master like Floyd, he's constantly pressuring you, and he's so efficient and composed that he never faked. Yeah, it was a freak show, and yeah, real world-class boxing between champions is better, but I thought it was pretty fucking interesting. Kudos to both men, and congrats on making us watch. Other big names in the MMA world also commented on the event. Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather was unable to finish YouTube phenomenon Logan Paul after 8 rounds of a dull exhibition battle. Match in Miami, Florida ended in a tie according to the rules. Professional boxers responded to the fight on Twitter. Andre Feely took to Twitter to say, if for any reason we see the biggest upset in sports history, go ahead and just unplug me from this simulation, please, and thank you. Corey Overtime Anderson, who's currently competing for Bellator MMA in the light heavyweight division, took to Twitter as well, saying, anybody ever seen the ref of the hashtag Mayweather Paul fight before? I haven't. I'm calling it right now. Hope I'm wrong. I got a feeling this is is about to be rigged, controversy, DQ, or loss. Hashtag fingers crossed. The Thug Jitsu master, who is the Bahamian retired MMA fighter best known for his time competing in the UFC's lightweight division, also wrote a tweet about the match stating, "Mayweather is selling this fight as competitive. He's going to carry this guy a few more rounds and let the bigger guy look like a threat." Unfortunately, it seems the Thug Jitsu master was wrong, with Paul lasting all 8 rounds, ultimately making the fight a draw. Very disappointing. Francis Ngannou is a Cameroonian French MMA fighter who is currently competing in the heavyweight division for the UFC. Francis posted on Twitter saying, "It's crazy to think that Logan Paul, 0-1, just made $20 million on a boxing expedition. What are we doing wrong?" And we couldn't agree more for a fight that wasn't very climactic. It's insane to think about how much these fights and now YouTubers are making. Mike Jackson is a journeyman boxer, kickboxer, and MMA fighter who wrote on his Twitter account, "Went roughly how I expected. Although a 5th round body shot KO would have been great." It seems like many MMA professionals are quite disappointed in how the fight went and that Mayweather wasn't able to knock out this YouTuber. Many upset fans and viewers took to Twitter to share their thoughts as well. One user posted, "Rip boxing, 1867 to 2021. While another wrote, "This is comical, whole bunch of nothing with those punches, but they're selling the storyline that Logan Paul might have a chance." More tweets posted said, "I really just watched an 8-round hugging match for 30 minutes, and they robbed everyone in this arena and on PPV. Worst fight ever." And another user wrote, "Worst fight I've ever seen. No one wants to watch these two lock arms after every punch thrown. And the worst fight I've ever wasted my time watching." As you can tell, many were majorly upset at home watching that match, especially due to the insane amount of marketing and hype this event received. I think it goes to show that watching YouTubers enter the ring can be quite cringy and unnecessary. Why were people disappointed? Following the long-awaited exhibition battle between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night, boxing fans expressed their dissatisfaction in droves. After weeks of anticipation, the match took place in Miami's Hard Rock Stadium and went the full 8 rounds, with no declared winner due to the expedition restrictions. Stepping into the ring against Mayweather, 44, who retired from the sport in 2017 with a 15-0 record, Paul, 26, was able to walk away with his dignity intact. And there you have it. What the professionals and MMA community are saying and thinking about the Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. As we've already stated, they went the full 8 rounds, with no real knockouts or very exciting moments, mostly hugging if you ask someone who watched the bout. Hopefully, we don't see too many of these YouTubers taking up boxing. However, seeing the paycheck, we already know many are very interested in giving it a go. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new upcoming content. Thanks for watching.